Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with a full review of the Orei BK-402A 4-input, 2-output, 8K HDMI matrix. This product makes it incredibly easy for you to share the output from 4 different HDMI media devices with 2 monitors at the same time, while providing complete control over which of those HDMI media streams is being displayed on each one of the monitors at any given time by using the buttons on the front of the unit or the included infrared remote control. The product fully supports ultra-high definition 8K media content at up to 60 frames a second and is both HDMI 2.1 as well as HDCP 2.3 compliant, which means it'll work perfectly fine with all of your modern media gear. It even provides audio extraction capabilities that will digitally separate the audio from the media being sent to those displays and allow you to pass that along to a soundbar or home stereo for better quality audio. Now, as part of this overview, I'd like to start with a quick unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit. And then I'll take a closer look at the unit and explain the connections and indicators so you understand how to use it. And then I'll come back one more time and point out a few things that I really like about this unit that you can use to compare it to other matrices you may be considering. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you first open up the box, you'll find the BK-402A. You'll find a single 5-volt 2-amp power supply. You can simply plug this into a wall outlet. The other end of the cable has a barrel connection on it which plugs directly into the back of the unit and provides all the power you'll need for operation. You'll also find a full function infrared remote control. This makes it really easy for you to make your selections of which of those inputs is being sent to each of the monitors from a distance away from the unit. You'll find a warranty card and a full instruction manual is also included that lists connection diagrams, specifications, and other really important details about the product that you'll need to understand in order to use it correctly. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at the unit, and then again, I'll point out a few things that I really like about this particular product that separate it from a lot of other products on the market. The BK-402A features a full metal enclosure which makes it incredibly durable and really the perfect solution for both residential and commercial installations. On either side of the cabinet, you'll find ventilation slots that are designed to let any heat that develops during operation escape to keep the electronics inside at a very comfortable temperature. On the front of the unit, starting on the left, you'll find an infrared receiver window, and that's where the remote control signals are picked up from the included infrared remote control. So when you set this up in your media center, you'll want to make sure that that window is visible if you're using that remote control. To the right of that is a power LED. The minute you add power to the unit, it immediately starts an internal power on self-test where it's checking all the electronics to make sure everything is working. Once it passes that test, it'll light that LED letting you know the module is ready to use. To the right of that are 2 banks of 4 LEDs labeled output 1 and output number 2. These indicate which of the inputs is currently being sent to output number 1 and which of the inputs is currently being sent to output number 2. And you can choose that individually by tapping these 2 buttons, this one for output 1 and this one for output 2. Every time you tap that button, it'll move to the next input and eventually move back to input number 1. You can also use the remote control to make those selections. To the right of that is an E-arc indicator. This unit is compliant with the E-arc standard, so if you're using media equipment or displays that use the E-arc standard, you can turn it on by tapping that button, and this LED will come on indicating you're in E-arc mode for the audio. To the right of that is a bank of 3 dip switches that are labeled config. These control the functions of the unit, and they're fully explained in the manual, but you can put this unit into matrix mode, or pass-through mode, or even splitter mode using those config switches. To the right of that are 3 more switches labeled EDID. Those control the frame rate and the resolution of the output versus the input, and again, both of these are fully explained in the manual. To the right of that is a micro USB port labeled service, and that's used for updating the firmware on the unit later on if needed. You can simply connect this to your computer, move the new firmware file to the module to complete that upgrade. On the rear of the units where you'll make all your connections, starting on the left, you'll find 2 full-sized HDMI ports labeled output number 1 and output number 2. These connect to local monitors that you'd like to enjoy the content on from your inputs. Output number 1 is also the E-arc port. To the right of that are 4 more HDMI ports that are labeled inputs. These connect to the 4 media devices that you'd like to share the content from with your 2 output displays. And again, if you have an E-arc product, you'll plug it in right there. These are all standard HDMI ports. Use a high quality HDMI cable for those connections. To the right of that are two audio output ports, an optical and an analog left and right 3.5mm. This unit provides audio extraction capabilities where it separates the audio from the media being passed through it and allows you to send that along to a soundbar or home stereo through one of these ports. So if you have a newer soundbar, you can use the optical SP-Diff connection. If it's an older soundbar, you can use the left and right analog connection. And finally, to the right of that is a DC input port. It comes with a power supply. You'll plug that into the wall. The other end of that cable has a barrel connection on it. You'll plug it in right there to provide all the power you'll need for operation. I hope that closer look was helpful. Now here are a few really important things to keep in mind when you're comparing the Orei BK-402A 4-input, 2-output, 8K HDMI matrix with other products you may be considering. The first thing has to do with resolution. This product fully supports ultra-high definition 8K media content at up to 60 frames a second. And that's important because a lot of other units on the market may only support 4K content or even 1080p content. So knowing you've got a product that can handle the highest resolution possible means that even though you may only be viewing 4K content today, knowing you've got a unit that can handle a higher resolution means as you upgrade your media equipment or your displays, you can continue to use the unit. Another important difference is the level of certification this product provides. This unit is fully compliant with both HDMI 2.1 standards as well as HDCP 2.3 standards. And the reason that's important is because the HDMI standard in particular has gone through a lot of changes in recent years. There have been a lot of advanced functionalities built into it. So knowing you're on the latest version of HDMI means that you can take advantage of all those features. And the HDCP certification is important as well because that controls copy protection. So knowing you're on the latest version of HDCP means you can play a wider range of different file types and not have to worry about that content making its way through the matrix. And the last thing I want to mention is the fact that the unit also provides audio extraction capabilities that will digitally separate the audio component from the HDMI media stream passing through it and allow you to send that along through an analog or digital connection to a home stereo or an amplifier system for that theater quality audio. Everything you need to get started is included with the kit, and with a few simple connections, you can be up and running in no time. So hopefully you found this review helpful, and until next time, as always, stay nerdy.